Hello guys, so welcome back to the stream. We'll continue from where we left off, and we had set up the login process for our application, and today I'm looking forward to maybe reach a bigger number of subscribers. So where we had reached was let me just kill this. Okay, so we had set up our application to be able to perform login. So we'll continue from there and see where we can proceed from going forward. I'm looking forward to reaching 1,000 subscribers by next year. So let's jump in and see what we have here. So so if we check on how we are going to implement the user authentication, let me just log in and visualize how we are going to use this. I will have two user groups. Okay. So we'll be having two users. We'll be having two users in our system. So in here, we'll have a worker, normal user. Then we'll also have task managers. Then we'll have the admins. So this will be our user groups. So we'll have normal user. We'll have like task managers. Or moderators. Then we'll have the admins. So with this, this means that there are a couple of things that these users will be able to do, and that is login and access tasks, then manage tasks, group tasks as per categories stroke department. So this means that a user will log into the system. After login, then they should be able to access the tasks available. Then these tasks will be given some timelines, which will dictate the amount paid. So we'll have group of employees, but we'll have just simple access control that is based on just the admin, the normal user, and the admin. So I don't want to complicate so much with the access control. I'll just go with basic RBAC. The simpler, the better. So, but you can expand on it with time. So, what we'll be doing for each module. For each module that we'll be having, we'll try to activate the role. So we'll start off with the users, then we'll move on to tasks. So let me just so I'll start off by creating a project. Let's have a so this project will be for manager teams priorities, work items, and planning feature release. Reflect as team what went well, what can be improved next time, and actions. Okay. So I'll go with this. So payroll task planning. So I'll create this project. So in here, we'll have So we'll have a series of things here. In our to do, we'll I'll add an item that is in the planning phase. I think we need to finalize on the login. Finalize login. So I'll add another one that is implement role based user access. Okay. Afterwards, because it's more of a task-based system, so that means once you're able to log in, we need to manage tasks. So task creation and management. Task creation and management. So that so in this, we need to add a description here. So we'll add implement role-based access. So currently we have 3 broad ways of access control. So that is admin, we have moderator, then we'll have guests. For someone who has minimal access, then from here we'll have normal. So with these 2 roles, these 3 roles, we'll enhance based modules and so we learn based on module and actions. So this will be pointing to access control types. So we have discretionary, we have attribute access control and administrative access control. We also have access list control and authentication. So there are so many. So attribute is more discrete, but we'll just go with this one. We'll move with role-based access because that's highly implemented in most of these frameworks. So it's fairly easy to understand and easily to use. So like for Django, so So this will be based on user, resource, then action. So this will be pointing us to this will be based on this. So we'll have user, resource, and action. So actions, so the actions here, will be actions will include things like read, create, update, then we'll have reports. Okay, we'll also have delete. So we'll be building a report system for this. So I'll just update the comment. So then I'll convert this to an issue, then assign it to this project. So I'll be using the project to track things. So that's the first issue. So this in here we'll edit this to make sure that we use so finalize remaining logic for login, that is refresh token endpoint and remaining logic for so that's how simple. So I send this to myself. This is the priority. So they should start today, probably by tomorrow. Then I'll convert this to an issue. So this is for announcement. For this, so we'll add feature. feature request. Then we'll have an issue. Do we have issue here? So we'll set up this board and have our milestone. So basic auth for the app. Due date probably end of this week. Today is on Thursday. Today is on Thursday. So by Friday, this let's say Saturday. So finish auth implementation of the payroll system. So I'll create that. Then we'll go to the issues. We'll go back to the projects. So for this, so I'll assign it to this basic auth milestone. Start date is today, end of Saturday. Labels, feature request, no, enhancement. So next, so this is the point where now we'll it's low priority at the moment. It's quite large. Start date probably on Sunday. I'm expecting it to end by Tuesday. Then I can convert it to an issue. Then we link it up there. Estimate number 5. and go to iteration 2. This one 2 current this will be the current So this will be tasks which are on hold for maybe a given reason. So I think we are done with the setup for the tasks. So we'll be using this board for looking up whatever issues we have. I believe all of them are issues. So I'll start off with issue number 2. This one. Then I'll create a branch for it. So I'll copy this, get back to my local, paste. No. I should be working on this. So next up, we so far have a login. So meaning from here, when we log in, I need to set up some script so that we automatically log in with the postman. So let's see. So for us to be able to log in, we'll come to postman here on the tests. Where do we have the tests? So I'll come to scripts. So here we can just write JavaScript console post response is equals to server. So our server response will be pm dot response or response dot to JSON. I don't know. Then you can just log this dot log server response. So if I send this request in the console here, I should be able to see my server response. So whatever we have in this server response is we have headers, then we have a stream, which is a buffer, and we have the data in here. So escape data response.body. So what of that? So how to get postman response data. So whenever we send a request, let me see. Let me see. Mm. Okay, so we get the JSON, send, uh, let me just clear this and resend. So we have our data, then we have the tokens. What we'll be busy with the tokens. So here we'll get the data. Then we'll get the tokens. Then we'll get our access token. Then we'll have refresh. So we'll have those. Then now if we send this request, you'll see refresh, not send. Then you can see now we have our, we can now be able to load the tokens. So it will be very important for us to be able to get this data. So when you get this data, we'll need to set this to the environment, em.set environment.set. So we'll set we'll need to set we'll set access token. We'll set our access token to access token npm environment.set. So we'll set our refresh. Here we'll set our refresh token. So if we send this request, we should have let me just clear this so that when we send this request, it's created. Then now if we check in our environments, check on the payroll, you'll see we have access token set and also refresh token set, but we'll change this now to make them secrets. This also should be a secret. So that's how now we use our environment to set the variables using Postman. So when we log in, whenever we'll try to log in, we'll come to the body. If you just send this request, this will automatically set this token. and it should be able to change automatically. So if I come to this environment, then go to the payroll, then if I look into this ends with the WZU. So if I come back to login and we go set it, if we check here, you'll see the token has changed because it will automatically set this token whenever I log in. So that's it for using the Postman scripts for setting environment variables. We'll use that for the login. So this is for creating users. Do we have any other one here? So we need to work on refresh token. So I've just seen an issue here. So if we log in, this should be okay. It should be okay. So should be an okay response. So that when we come back here to login, should be an okay response, not shouldn't be a created response. So let's go back here. So we'll be working on this issue. We have some issues here. We come to these issues. So we need to finalize the login. So refresh token endpoint and remaining logic for registration. That's the issue we are having, and I think we have, we are in that branch. So it's issue number 2. So we'll need to create a service for refreshing our token. So I'll just need to create a service here, like the login service. Then in the schema here, export const refresh token request schema. This will be, we'll need a refresh token. Yep. Export. So we'll just need to format this. Hello PWL. So I need to take out this. So in here we'll need to refresh token request body, of which the data will have refresh token. So refresh token from data, then we need to inject our JWT. We don't need a password processor. So let me read through the login. So we create new tokens, then we create a token in the database. Okay. Then we create a session. So what we'll need to do here is I think we'll need to have a list of things which you're supposed to be doing here. We'll need to verify the refresh token. Okay. So we'll need a login required decorator to check for us if we have user in the current session. So login required decorator. So we'll export function. So with this, return a function which takes in a target. So we'll kind of take it slow. So the target will be the function we're injecting these two. We'll construct the original method, then we reassign. So what we'll be doing here, we need to extract This won't be request, should be context. So it will be pointing to our API request context, which now will be having our request inside it. Okay, so this will be having request inside it. Then we'll so when you have request inside here, we can extract the headers. Auth header. So get the authorization header. So if we don't have the auth header, then we will throw this error, but it will be pointing to API server, API exception, API error. So this will be pointing to API error. Then which will be a bad request dot unauthorized. So this will be 20401. So we'll get our token. So here we'll be having header token. So on this, we'll have header token and its token. The first section, how do you call the first section? How do you call the first section of this? Okay, so we'll have a scheme. So for the scheme and the token, so you have the header token and the scheme. Then this will be so in here we'll make sure that we have whatever we need, so that if things don't work out, then don't get an error. So if we check for scheme, so check for scheme validity. So first we check if the scheme is available. If not, bearer.test the scheme, then that means it's not valid. So it should just be exactly bearer. Then check for token validity. So in here we'll be passing our auth. Auth token is required. Then now we'll do the validity here. So const token is equals to JWT okay. So we'll need to validate the token, const valid token, which will be const JWT equals to new JWT. So once you have the new JWT, we'll just check here with the JWT. So we'll verify access token. So we pass the access token there. Then we should be able to get our data, the ID, which will be our user ID, and we'll get the token type. So if we don't have, if token type not equal to access, so we'll just throw an error to show that the token provided is invalid. So that access or refresh. Then we'll need to get the user DB. So they should be asynchronous, async. So we'll need to await db dot select from user get the equal number. So we'll get the user. So this will return an array. So if the length of the users we have, we just need to throw an error to show that the user provided is invalid. Then in here, so this context, we can also pass a user inside it, which will be, so for now, we'll just have users any. Then in the login required decorator, So x0 will be this user. This is for login required endpoints. Okay, so we have the user. We'll inject the user into context. So if you're inactive, if you're not active, then we'll need to log you out of the system because you're inactive. So when now we come to, let's say we need to get users. I send this request. Currently, you'll see we're getting all the users. So I need to lock this down. So come to the controller, get all users. Then I'll need to inject this just below login required. Then call it so that's it. If now we come back and send this request, you'll see authorization header is required, and that's how simple it is to pass these decorators. So this will check for auth header. That means at this point we haven't gotten any authorization header. Now this is the error that we are getting. So if we now go to headers, I'll come here to users, then come to authorization. Won't inherit from parent. So in this payroll system, I'll put authorization to bearer token. Then because we had already set our environment variables, we can now just access it using the access token. Okay. So now if I come here and get users, send this request, invalid authorization scheme. So then you can see we get an authorization scheme which is invalid. Meanwhile, I can just log out the scheme. I send this request. You'll see let me just auth header. So we get bearer. Oh, okay, I got it now. So we don't need to like extract that. So this should be working well. So then if I send this request, you'll see cannot read property of identified conf. Let me send this. So I'll need to use bi.resolve JWT. So with that, if I send this request, you'll see we get JWT expired. What if I log in? Then now if I get, you'll see now this is successful, and this is how easy it is to implement login with the decorator. So we'll make more enhancements based on access control, but this does it on restriction of access if token is not provided. So let's proceed. We need to refresh our token. So for the refresh token, I think we'll need session ID. So need to verify the token. So we'll get a session. So revoke the session. Okay. So because we're using a refresh token, we'll need to update the so after verification, we're supposed to get ID and token type. Then if token type is not a refresh, then invalid token type. Afterwards, then we'll get a user. So if we don't get a user, then we'll throw an invalid user error. Then, so that will be done for the users. So in our context, we have the refresh token and the session ID. Then now we destructure the two. Then we validate, which will give us the verify refresh token will give us ID and the token type, which is either access or refresh. From there, we'll get the user. But Drizzle usually returns an array of data, so we'll just take if the length is less than 1, then we'll just throw because this will throw an error. Then we need to make sure that the session that is being passed is the same session that we had created. So whenever the user is getting to the backend, then the session which they created should be able to match the session which is coming back. So if we don't have any session, then we throw an error. From there, now we'll need to get session. So this will be session 1. So if the session root user ID does not match the ID, then we will just throw an error for invalid session. Then generate new tokens. So we'll generate new tokens. Okay. So for signing, we need to pass we just need to pass the ID, which will be the user ID. So once we send those tokens, we'll only return the access token. So once we sign this, we'll get the access and the refresh token, but we only need the access. So for the refresh token, should we be having a login required, or should it just be you request for the token, or you So we'll get the token. So this will be refresh token. So I think I'll pause it here for today. I really feel tired, and I'll make sure to make these updates live, so that from where I live, we'll continue from there. See you in the next one.